Today, Eminem is regarded as one of the greatest rappers alive, if not the greatest rapper alive. But there's an alternate timeline where Eminem never made it past December 2007. Breaking news, the rapper Eminem has died from a suspected drug overdose at the age of 35. That headline almost became a reality. One night in December 2007, Eminem was just 2 hours away from death.
You almost died?
Yeah, definitely.
How close do you think you were to dying?
They said 2 hours. If I would have got to the hospital 2 hours later, that would have been it. Because my organs, everything, my kidneys, everything were failing. Everything was shutting down.
This is the story of the time Eminem nearly died. Eminem's drug addiction started during the early 2000s. In 2002, around the time he was filming 8 Mile, he started leaning on prescription meds like Vicodin, Valium and Ambien just to function in his daily life. But the real turning point came in 2006, a part that would eventually lead Eminem to the brink of death. On April 5th, 2006, Eminem filed for divorce from his wife Kim Scott for the second time, and only 6 days later, on April 11th, 2006, tragedy struck again. Eminem's best friend Proof, the man he'd known since childhood, someone he called his anchor, was shot and killed outside a Detroit club. Proof's death sent Eminem into a dark spiral of depression, writer's block, and escalating drug abuse. He described it in brutal detail to XXL magazine. I remember just after Proof died, I was in my house by myself. I was just laying in my bed and I couldn't move, and I just kept staring at the ceiling fan, and I just kept taking more pills. I literally couldn't walk for 2 days when that happened, and eventually my drug use fucking skyrocketed. I had fucking 10 drug dealers at one time that I'm getting my shit from. And so Eminem's drug intake exploded. He said he started buying pills wherever I could and taking anything that anybody was giving to me. At his worst, Eminem was swallowing 30 Vicodin and painkillers a day and mixing in Ambien just to sleep. On top of that, he was downing up to 60 Valium pills a day. The more pills he took, the higher his tolerance got. The higher the tolerance, the more he needed just to feel normal. But Eminem's overwhelming grief over Proof's death gave him an excuse to spiral even further into
I had a drug problem already. I had an addiction I was dealing with already. When that happened, I think it was kind of a thing went off in my head, just like, fuck it.
Right.
You know, I might as well take more. You know what I mean? Like, maybe this will help me get through. You know, and the truth is, you know, it didn't help.
As Eminem's addiction spiraled, food became another crutch. The pills were already tearing him apart physically. Eminem later explained the coating on the Vicodin and Valium he was swallowing left a hole in your stomach. To dull the pain, Eminem ate constantly and almost always badly. Fast food became routine for him, whether it was McDonald's, Taco Bell, late night at Denny's, or Big Boy. The more he ate, the more the weight piled on.
Yeah, I put on quite a few pounds.
How chunky did you get?
I think I probably tipped the scales a little over 200.
And was this was just eating, overeating?
It was eating, it was taking pills that I had no business taking, you know what I mean? Doing
really?
things that I just wasn't taking care of myself, I wasn't taking care of my body.
Before long, Eminem had gained 80 pounds and shot up to 230 pounds in total. I was going to McDonald's and Taco Bell every day, he told Rolling Stone. The kids behind the counter knew me, it wouldn't even faze them. I got so heavy that people started to not recognize me. One of them said, "That's Eminem." And the other said, "No, it's not, man, Eminem ain't fat." I was like, motherfucker. That's when I knew I was getting heavy. By late 2007, his prescription drug habit had spiraled so badly that even his dealers struggled to keep up with his needs. When Eminem's supply of Vicodin ran out in December 2007, his dealer pushed him towards some blue pills that were supposedly just like Vicodin and easy on your liver. On his drive home that night, Eminem tried one of these mysterious blue pills. I remember taking one in the car on the way home and thinking, oh, this is great, just that rush, Eminem recalls. But these blue pills weren't Vicodin, they were methadone, a powerful opioid far deadlier than what he was used to. As he binged on it, Eminem's world slipped into a haze that pushed him to the brink of death one night. He said, "My whole month of December, I was not able to get out of bed. I got up to use the bathroom and boom, I fell again. And that time, I couldn't get up." In late December in his Detroit home, Eminem overdosed on methadone and collapsed on the bathroom floor. Paramedics eventually arrived to find him nearly comatose, close to death. 3 days later, Eminem woke up in a hospital bed, unable to speak or move.
I woke up in the hospital and I didn't know what the fuck happened. Like, it seemed like I fell asleep and I woke up with tubes in me and shit. I wanted to get up. I couldn't move.
Eminem had missed Christmas Day with his daughters. Doctors told him he had ingested the equivalent of 4 bags of heroin. If he had arrived at the hospital 2 hours later, he would have been dead. That December night could have been the end of Eminem's life, but instead it sparked a new story for him. 4 months later, in April 2008, Eminem took his first steps towards recovery and ultimately redemption.